Hello, everyone. A very good day to all of you. My appreciation to the organizers of Smart City Summit and Expo, as well as Meta Edu, to give me the opportunity to share with you on a very interesting topic, one of my very personal passion on the rise of just-in-time learning, particularly the impact of AI on education. Many of us have heard about AI in business, from process automation to data-driven insights and how AI can improve decision making. We know that companies have started to leverage and use AI technology to improve efficiency and competitiveness. AI in technology is also another area where AI can be harnessed to build powerful algorithms that simulate human intelligence and used in a different way, better way to transform different industry and drive innovation. The impact of AI in education is a much less talked about topic, however, very important. AI in education can be applied in various aspects of the education model, such as pedagogy, design, and research, teaching models, content creation, learning acquisition, knowledge application, and assessment. In my presentation today for you, I'll focus on the whole learning and knowledge application space due to the lack of time. Now, the pace of AI advancement over the last 2 decades has been alarming. If you look at how the capability of technology have reached the human performance level, recent years we've seen how quickly technologies are able to be embraced. And what's important is that we all know the future will be bright if we are able to embrace technology and use it pretty well. Ignore it, we'll probably fall behind. I would like to make a reference to a particular panel discussion which took place last year in May. And one of the panel members, Mr. Thomas Fredman, who is the author of The World's Flag, suggested that we cannot afford to wait for the deanery to decide what curriculum to teach when the industry is really demanding that particular competency. It is also important we appreciate a particular point. What we cannot create, we do not understand. It is important that we know how to create things and use the knowledge that we have to apply, and that demonstrates our ability to understand. In particular, we need to ask ourselves, is AI a friend or foe? Will AI take away our jobs? What's going to happen to the future of work? Well, it is important for us to leverage AI not just to cut costs, but also to extend the top line. And let me explain how this could be considered. Well, surprise, surprise, the rules have changed. It is no longer important just rationalize and understand why it has taken place. It is also important to appreciate how we can take the next step to move things forward. AI will not replace you as a human, but the person who knows how to use AI will. And let me explain why I say that. In the past, we have been focused on organizing data, sorting them out, putting in the right place. But what we need is a skill to be able to explain that story and develop a message that we want to convey to business. Hence, to achieve that, we must make learning to be fun. Fun not in the sense where we party and don't do work, but fun in the sense that learning has to be flexible, unlimited, and more importantly, never ending. If we're able to achieve these three goals in learning, we will allow ourselves to adopt AI in a very different way to train our next generation. That brings me to a discussion on just-in-time learning versus just-in-case learning. Many of the curriculums that we put into our education program today are just in case we need the knowledge. However, most of the content could be irrelevant or not used at all. And more importantly, by the time the student go into the industry, the content could be outdated. It is important that we are able to allow the child to learn just in time, and more importantly, how they can learn new concepts. There will be a balance that we need to consider between the baseline for fundamentals and how the students are able to absorb the majority of knowledge, and more importantly, how they can retain the knowledge to use in the different places. It is not just important for us to consider conceptual reasoning, it is also important for the learner to be able to connect the ideas together, and more importantly, to develop an alignment to the contextual problem that they are trying to solve. This is a paper that I presented in the Human Resource and Ergonomics Conference in San Francisco last year, where I proposed the idea that it's no longer sufficient to have memory retention to reproduce content into the examination papers, but more important for them to be able to associate what they learn to the application and how this knowledge can be used appropriately. In order for learning to be fun, I like to propose that we consider this model of I learn, you learn, and we learn. We all can learn very well individually on our own from our teachers. But if we were to teach for you to learn, then it is useful for us to know more than what we already understand in order to teach the second person. And collectively together, we can multiply our memory capability when we learn together. We need to understand that learners can do better and understand the better blind spots and extend frame control in the whole learning process if AI is appropriately adopted. On a very related point, it is absolutely very clear that future organizations are going to be enabled by general AI and more importantly led by humans. In this report by McKinsey and Company, it talks about how this is going to be achieved, and it is important for us to appreciate the fact that AI is going to be in the hands of the workforce. Hence, AI has to start from the education process in order for this to be achieved. Allow me to take another reference. Gary Kasparov, the chess master that lost to AI technology many years ago. And he said, we need better humans and not less technology. We need humans who are able to leverage technology, particularly AI, so that we can become better humans. Now, understanding AI technology is no longer just a one-off. It is a journey that we need to adopt. It is a function of generative AI versus computational AI and combining them together to become more efficient. Education is the foundation to better humans. We need to teach our young generations to be fully appreciative of this AI technology and how to be fluent with this technology in order to be ready for the future of work. Therefore, it is important for us to start AI training from young. China is moving very fast with this concept. Before the pandemic in 2019, China has already approved publishers to include AI content into the textbooks for preschoolers. And over time, we're seeing more and more of schools in China adopting AI content. Also, China has approved AI as a major for many of the universities in the country. Let's not wait for our children to complete university education before they start to understand what AI is about. Already, there are a number of publications that talk about how children, young kids, should understand AI. UNICEF has also published a policy to be educated to the young children. Here are a couple of examples of schools in Europe that are adopting and allowing teachers and students to use AI tools in their curriculum. Many schools in Singapore are also updating the content to incorporate generative AI as part of their teaching models. It is not what we remember as learners that's important. It is how we can use that knowledge to connect ideas and, more importantly, align with the context of what we're going to use it for. To me, the message is clear. We have to start AI training from young. We have to incorporate AI contents into our curriculum. And more importantly, to allow the child to expand and discover knowledge, not just in case they need the knowledge, but it has to be just in time. Young have to know how to learn. As every child starts to understand AI, they start to build awareness of AI and develop certain competency in AI. AI is versatile. It's going to be the skill of the future. AI will improve many of user experience as we start to touch technology. Hence, it is important every child is able to become fluent in AI. I'd like to suggest that education model take a very different approach to how we want to train, and more importantly, the shift from what I call program-centric content to a problem-centric content. What this means is that it's more than just in case learning based on a program that we want to teach to our young learners. We have to shift to a model whereby learners are able to use content, use knowledge in the most appropriate way to solve problems. And in that sense, just in time learning is so important. We do not want a child to come to us, I cannot solve the problem because I've not learned it before. They need to know that if they need to solve a problem, they have to find how to source for that information, how they can curate the information, and more important, how does it apply into the problem they're trying to solve. Let us co-innovate into the future. If we think we know about AI, think again. Perhaps we may not really do. As for our young, let's build AI content into the curriculum so that they are competent enough to face the future. They need to know how to learn. Just-in-time learning will be able to enable them to acquire the necessary competency for the future work. Let us leverage AI technologies to achieve zero digital divide. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you all listening in. I'll leave you my contact and also leave you a website where we have recordings of our past discussions on AI in the different application. My name is Oliver Tian. Thank you again. Stay healthy and keep safe.